Awesome. All right. This is round five. Let's begin. Bro. Can I keep this? It's misses. So risky. So risky. I do know my opponent's deck is Jeskai. This is definitely a hand that I would be interested in keeping against Jeskai. I think in the blind, I would probably put this hand back, but against Jeskai, Mentor is one of my best options. I'm guaranteed to get one trigger. Any land is insane. Any Moxen is okay. I have a Force of Will protection. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. I think that I wouldn't keep this in the blind, but I think against Jeskai, this is a hand that's in my keepable range, and I'm sure it's not in most people's keepable range, and maybe it's not supposed to be in my keepable range. Um, but this is something that I'm willing to do. So let's see how it goes. I guess you're in for a show, chat. All right, we got our mentor, and we got a trigger, and we have a force of will to protect it. Pretty good. Definitely the kind of start we're looking for. And then obviously we just want to hit Moxen or lands off the top. The first land is insane. Um, there's like some debate if I want to use force pitching Ponder so that I can draw a blue spell and have it be live. It's Ancestral. I'm just gonna let Ancestral resolve. The only thing that matters in this game is my mentor, so I'm not gonna counter that. That's not true. Unless you're saying the states. Is this Swords to Plowshares? Well, I have to hope they didn't find Force of Will, I guess. I'm gonna pitch Force of Will. I do need to be able to play Magic if this doesn't work out for me. It worked out for me. All right, land, 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 land. Okay, not a bad draw. Not a bad draw. Now I definitely wish I'd pitched my Ponder. I could have double force, but I think we can lose this game though. Opponent having an ancestral hand is really problematic. Any lightning bolt is also pretty problematic. I wonder if I was supposed to pitch Ponder. I just didn't want to draw like Tundra or Island or Tolarian Academy and not be able to play Ponder. snap Ancestral, snap Swords, or snap Time Walk. Alright, Mentor down. This game looks pretty bad unless we can resolve Ancestral Recall. Yeah. I'm starting to think that I may have been too greedy. Oh well. I'm not willing to trade one of these for a Snapcaster. I probably am supposed to force pitching Ponder so that I can make my other blue cards live draws. That was probably a mistake. Oh god, they have Ancestral. Yeah, it's pretty good. If I hit a land, what I can do is I can block with my monks. I didn't hit a land. All right, well, I think we're dead. I have a really low opinion of our chances in this matchup, which is why I like to play a little bit. I have a little bit wider of a keep range in terms of risk. It's a tough matchup for Theo, especially if the opponent is going to have an ancestral hand. Yeah, so now they're going to resolve a second ancestral, and I don't think that we can win this game at all. So we're going to play it out, I think, all the way, though. Just because they can always just draw lands. I assume opponent's going to go like land, Sanctuary, Time Walk, Preordain into Time Walk, Flashback Preordain off of Dreadhorde Arcanist. There's like no way you can screw up this game. This game is over. I just want to see a little bit more. Their draw was tough for me. Like, there's really not very many Swords to Plowshares in current Jeskai lists, so opponent having a Swords to Plowshares is really rough. Alright, I'm good here. Yeah, I mean, I think the hand was extremely greedy hand to keep, but I don't hate it. So, against Jeskai, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in Camball, and I'm going to bring in Remoras and Flusterstorms. And I'm going to get rid of Hercule's Recall, and I'm going to get rid of my Slow Tutors. And I'm going to get rid of one Mox Opal. That's true. It was Swords, Snap Swords, which is, I mean, you also don't even see Snapcasters in all versions of Jeskai. Though it's possible if I had kept the Force of Will if I had not pitched the Force of Will and I had instead kept the second Force of Will and forced the Snapcaster Mage, it's possible that that might have been good enough. I don't even think that would have been good enough because if opponent plays a Dreadhorde Arcanist, it's really hard for me to attack through anyways. So, there's like some merit to Mindbreak Trap here, especially when you start up on 2 Remoras. I kind of like it more than Lavinia. I don't really like Lavinia in this matchup at all. I do like a balance in this matchup, and maybe I want swords in this matchup because they're on so many creatures. This way we can take out both Lavinias. I guess maybe we just won't bring in Mindbreak Trap, and then I can take out one more Opal. Possibly want to take out one PO as well. Lavinia is incredibly strong against us. All of their creatures are pretty strong, besides Snapcaster, right? So I think this is how I want to do it. There's like some merit here because we have less opals in our deck that we want it to go down like one PO for a Mindbreak Trap to play with our Mystic Remoras. I kind of dig that. PO is like a really hard card to gain value from in this matchup. I mean, Repeal is still going to be bouncing Lavinia and Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's also just a blue spell and a cantrip, so yeah, this hand is fine. We'll definitely keep it. I would expect them not to have any wastelands in their deck, so I'm gonna fetch dual lands. Looking for opal, not opals. I'm looking for like some mocks in here. Ancestral Camball PO. Yeah, I want those. I don't want this PO. I'm not going to need this merchant scroll, so it's probably going to pitch to Force of Will. So I'm just going to take these top two and then shuffle away the PO. This is a pretty good hand versus Xerox, I'm not going to lie. I probably will Time Walk. Have to see what opponent does. If they hold up Pyroblast and Flusterstorm, which is what they're going to do, it's possible we want to just... I don't really want to cast this Ancestral into open mana. I would rather look for my own Flusterstorm. I am willing to just... I want to fetch away this PO no matter what, so I am willing to just Time Walk here. This Merchant Scroll is really bad, because it almost always gets Ancestral. I guess I can get Flusterstorm, so there's like some merit to going Merchant Scroll for Flusterstorm there. I didn't consider that. Probably going to do that now, because Repeal also doesn't have that much use currently. They might just counter this with so that I can't get Ancestral. They didn't. All right, so I'm going to grab Fluster. I could also grab Mental Misstep. Something I guess I should be worried about is, I guess opponent slamming a Lavinia is not the biggest deal. I'm going to grab a Fluster. I guess I can't cast my... I guess I can cast my Fluster with my Ancestral. I don't know if this is right or if I should get like Mental Misstep off of this Merchant Scroll. It's possible I'm supposed to get Mental Misstep off this Merchant Scroll. Are they just going to slam Lavinia here? I'm pretty happy with... I'm not happy about it, but I'm okay with that in the sense that I would just force it. They would force back and I would Ancestral on my turn. Oh, okay, that's pretty good too. I'm definitely never going to force that or anything. So now maybe they'll play Lavinia with Pyroblast back up. Today's 9 rounds. Alright, they can't play Lavinia. They could play Dak with Pyroblast back up. They can play Dreadhorde Arcanist. I don't think I'm forcing this Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's 9 rounds today. It's a good draw. Should I just jam a Camball? Or should I go for Ancestral on their turn? They have double Counterspell. My Ancestral is a problem. I really want Ancestral now so that I can hit Moxen and turn on my Tolarian Academy. They have to have Fluster and Pyroblast for this to go badly. Maybe it's greedy. It also lets them play Negation. I think I'm going to go for it, though. This could be wrong. They had Mental Misstep. That's like the biggest blowout possible. Alright, well, I'm still gonna try to fight over it. Mental Misstep is the roughest. So they have a Pyroblast. Oh, they have a Snap Mental Misstep. Alright, I'll force the Snap. Ancestral resolves. Now, do I hold up Mindbreak Trap or do I slam a Camball? Man, you're pretty lucky there, Slater. Holding up Mindbreak Trap's pretty good because if they go for a Preordain, I can exile it and they don't get any part of it. But slamming Camball when I know they don't have Force of Will, also pretty good. I'm gonna have Mind Break Trap next turn. I'm gonna slam Cannonball, I think. If they do go Ponder, if they do go Preordain, and then try to play a really good card, I still have Trap as well, which is nice. So now they have Mystic Sanctuary, their Time Walk on top of their library. Looks like they don't have a Preordain or anything. That's such a bad draw. Well, at least it saved us from a Lightning Bolt or a Swords to Plowshares on our Cannonball. It's not bad. Probably. Yo is such a bad card. Oof, man. I mean, they shouldn't leave in too many Lightning Bolts and Swords to Plowshares. So, it's the whole idea is this doesn't get hit by Pyroblast. Alright. I mean, I need to find a way to attack. Obviously, this 1-3 versus 2-3 thing isn't happening. Or, it's not going super well, but... Alright. So, their spell count starts to happen here. They get to cast 2 Preordains by attacking. But that also means that they don't have any blockers. They went bottom. And if they do play a follow-up spell on the same turn, we have Trap, which is really nice. Let's see if Cannonball can take this one all the way. It'd be pretty cool if he did. They went bottom again. But obviously they drew a free card, which is always good for them. There's no reason that I can't block here. The only real reason in Vintage would be like a Wrenn and 6. Opponent's definitely not on Wrenn and 6. Sorry, actually, Wrenn and 6 doesn't even kill this because it just took 1 damage. There's no reason not to block here. Second, Dreadhorde Arcanist. I don't care about second Dreadhorde Arcanist. I mean, it means I can't attack in this turn. Maybe that's a good enough reason. I also have my free Mind Break Trap right now. 2 damage. I'm not sure this is correct. Feels correct, but I'm not sure it's correct. Nice. So I think we're going to draw a counter spell off this. I'm pretty happy with that. Interesting fetches. Are they not getting... They don't even care about Sanctuary for Time Walk at all. What are they doing here? Is this a dig through time? It must be a dig through time, right? We're going to snap fluster that shit. Hell yeah. It's a big win for us. We baited a dig through time. Who is Mark? Mark who? No, opponent does not know about this fluster. Opponent knows about the last fluster. That's incorrect. Game 1 was not good. I kept a really risky hand and it did not pay off. This game has been very good. Game 1, I kept a Lotus Mentor hand and didn't draw lands to follow it up. So, it was probably too risky. I still can't PO here, so. I mean, that's not a bad draw. Mental Misstep is not a bad draw by any means. This Academy has looked very sad, I agree. We're in pretty good shape here, though, I think. Opponent only has a couple spells to give. I'm actually going to misstep this just so it forces them to continue doing things. Like I'm actually insulated from Source to Plowshares and Lightning Bolt with my paradoxical outcome. So I actually think this is a reasonable misstep target. They're gonna Pyroblast it. Perfectly fine with me. So now if they flashback Brainstorm, then they can't actually play a spell that kills this. I'm definitely not paying mana because I need 4 mana to cast my Paradoxical Outcome Slasher, so I'm not doing that. So if opponent doesn't find a removal spell off of this Brainstorm, they can no longer remove this Camball. And then they have to win with creatures, I guess. No, my plan is to hold PO in case they have removal for my Camball. And then I would PO my Camball as like a momentary blink. Save my Camball. Save the Camball, save the world. I don't know what you're saying. I'm saying that I would PO in response to a bolt. Yes, that is what I'm saying. I'm confused. The cool part is if they use a spell to kill my Camball, they can't counter my PO because it would also kill them. They can't flashback this Brainstorm. They have to wait until they find a Sword or a Lightning Bolt. Camballs look really good here. I do have to find a way to get damage in, but that should do it. That's game. They can't counter this or they lose. All right. So Camball did Camball's job. This is the, if anyone ever asks you why I play, oh, I guess it'd be me. If anyone ever asks me why I play a Camball on my sideboard, this is the big reason. It does help versus these kind of Jeskai decks. It forces them to bring a bunch of their removal back in. If they boarded out their removal in the first place. So Camball basically won that game by himself. So very happy with that. I still will leave him in, even though he's going to be way less good next game where they bring back a bunch of removal. I think in this case, what we want to do is I think I want to board a little bit closer. I don't actually think it's possible. I'd like to board a little bit more back into PO, but it's a little hard to do so. I guess I can go 1 island down, 1 PO in. I'd like to get a second Opal in, maybe instead of a repeal. This way I'm a little bit back more towards my PO plan instead of leaning so heavily on like the Camball Remora plan. Try this. Yeah, that was a really interesting game. That game 2 was really good. And I'm the reason why game 1 wasn't very good, so yeah, that's a hand. That's a hand, chat. You guys ready for me to keep this hand and have my opponent play turn 1 Lavinia? Because that's what's gonna happen. I'm keeping. You can't mulligan this hand. But oh boy, when opponent hits on color Mox and Lavinia on turn 1 here, I'm going to be very sad. Yeah, I mean that's vintage, right? It would suck if they do. They did not, so we get to play Magic. You'll love to see it. So the question here is going to be, how do we play this? Because I don't know the answer to that question. I don't really want to play Ancestral on my turn. Opponent's definitely on 1 or 2 negations, but they are tapped out, which means they have to play Force or negation, one of the 2 forces. So they only have 4 cards in hand. We drew a land is a really good draw. So we could actually... We have lots of options. Pretty sure we can Whisper. Do we play around Trap in any meaningful way? I mean, pretty sure we're going to Whisper. I'm just trying to figure out if we want to like Whisper first, Cannonball first. We currently have the ability to do, this is 4 mana. So this plays, we can play all 3. So we can crack our Lotus for white and play a Cannonball and then a Whisper and then an Ancestral. Or we can play Whisper, Lotus, Whisper, Cannonball, Ancestral. I think we have to play this to play around days. I mean, we're not going to play around days with our whole hand, but at least our Lotus is pretty important. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by Whispering with white mana. That puts me down to 2 white mana. I play a black mana and play a Cannonball. I think this is the best line. If I crack white off Lotus, they know that I have Teferi, Cannonball, or I mean they've been watching the stream, so they know I don't have Teferi. They know I have Cannonball or Mentor. So I can actually Merchant Scroll for a Force of Will if I really want to. Both of these are exposed to Mindbreak Trap if opponent plays it. Opponent might have a Swords to Plowshares for my Cannonball, which would obviously be unfortunate, but I don't think we can do anything about it. I'm going to lead with this, see if it draws a Force of Will. If it draws a Force of Will, I'm going to slam an Ancestral and look for a Force back. Obviously, this exposes my Force of Negation or days. I actually don't think I'm going to cast this Ancestral because I don't really want to play. I want to play on their turn. I don't want to play into Negation. I don't want to play into Daze with my Ancestral anyways. I think I would like to just Ponder here. This also plays around Mental Misstep. I think this makes the most sense. Do I want to keep 2 lands? I don't think so. I don't think I'd want to keep 2 lands. I think I'm just going to shuffle. Force? Alright, so opponent has a pretty good line of play Dak Fade and steal my Sapphire here. They didn't have Swords to Plowshares, but we'll see if they have Bolt. They have Dreadhorde Arcanist, Resolves. Wow, we just get to go. Okay. I think we want to just go for Merchant Scroll for a Flusterstorm, and then Ancestral with Flusterstorm backup. And we can do that on our turn. Oh my god, that's insane. I'm definitely going to play a Remora with Misstep. Hell yeah. So an issue here is obviously if they did have Daze the whole time. Wow. Okay. So I mean, we successfully played around this Daze until right now, but I still think I would always jam into the Daze here. Pretty unfortunate for us, obviously. But at least we didn't get our Ancestral Daze, right? And we're looking at PO with Flusterstorm and Mental Misstep backup on the next turn. So they're also now pretty far away from casting a Dak Fade. So I kind of had a read on Daze, but it's hard to say because not every Jeskai list plays Daze. I'm definitely not going to counter this. This Mental Misstep has to be for a Pyroblast, Swords to Plowshares, or Lightning Bolt. I will block, obviously. This is a good match. This is an interesting one. I would probably PO for 2. Opponent went top with their preordain. I wonder what that means. Handball's been great. Agreed. So is this gonna be the removal spell? It's gonna be ancestral. I'm willing to fight over ancestral. They have to have force of will or another daze. They can't have negation. They can't have fluster. They can't have pyro. They have force of will. That's fine. I mean, opponent's gonna have the, they're not gonna have all of those cards for this next turn either. So hopefully we'll be able to PO. What I want to do here is draw a Moxen so I can PO for 3 instead of PO for 2. Drawing a Moxen is the most important thing. I can't do that because I need to play with Flusterstorm backup. Do I need to play with Flusterstorm backup? I feel like I have to play with Flusterstorm backup here. I draw 2 more cards though if I play my top. And if I get them to Force of Will or Negation of PO, it means they only have 2 more spells to cast. No, I think I'm wrong. I think I want to not play with Flusterstorm backup. They have to have Force of Will or Force of Negation and they will go to 6 life. Biggest... Yeah, well, the problem is they're going to flashback Ancestral. This is a really hard choice. I think I'm supposed to play the top to make it a must counter spell. All right, we should win the game from here, I think. They had Pyroblast, Preordain, Lavinia. Interesting. Oh, we found a force. Yeah, this game is over. I'm going to hold this second one just to play around a top deck days, I guess. Handball is a god. Handball is a god. So I'm just going to fight over this. Oh, they just didn't cast it. Okay. Sure. And why would we attack if we're not casting it? Handball is just running train on this game of Magic the Gathering. This is why you build the deck the way we did. I'm just gonna force this. I don't need to PO. I'm gonna put them to 4, and I have double counter. Well, now I can just fucking PO anyways. All right. Ooh, that was a really good game. Camball did some work. We'll take those. 5 rounds in. We're 4-1 with 4 rounds to go. Sweet. I mean, PO was like not great that game. It was mostly just cam ball. 9 rounds today. 9 rounds. I shouldn't say 9 rounds today because we're playing 18 rounds today because we're playing 2 tournaments, but 9 rounds in this tournament. Yeah. No, there's no reason to pick up cam ball. There's just no reason to. So what's happening in the G2 match?
Been very explicit about saying, "Hey, look, I still have in
Okay,
my
lost
heart
game
a
one,
place
so we're
for
just
those
starting game
aggressive
two.
playmakers,
Sweet.
for these big plays, for these big carry performances." And
Oh, I guess
I'm glad
let
that
me
we're
do
going
a quick plug. Yo, there's 200 people watching. That's dope, and I appreciate that so much. If you're new here, my name is Justin. I'm actually level 1, and I stream vintage. Um, Please, if you like what you're seeing, if you want to get more into vintage, if you're interested in vintage content at all, following the channel and subscribing on YouTube, both of those are free. They help me grow the channel, they help me grow vintage, and that's the big goal here. The goal here is to have more people playing vintage, more people enjoying vintage, and just keep the love going. So if you're not already following the channel, if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, I would appreciate that so much. Um, if you're looking to learn vintage, my YouTube has 1,200 plus videos on it. You can find anything you need there. Every time I stream on Twitch, I will upload those videos to YouTube, separate them by match. So you could search for PO, and then you could see, oh, how do I want to board versus Hogak versus Dredge versus Shops, and then you can find a match where I play against PO. I play as PO versus Dredge versus Shops. It's all there, and you can hopefully find some information to help you move forward. The plan for this weekend is I'm going to stream every single Eternal Weekend event. There are 3 Eternal Weekend events. The first one started this morning at 3 a.m. That's the one we're currently playing now. Currently 4-1. 4 more rounds to go. And then I will probably try to take a nap before I play the 5 p.m. Eternal Weekend number 2. Play that late into the night. Then I'll take a full rest, go to bed, and then we'll play the 1 p.m. on Sunday Eternal Weekend number 3. Yeah, I mean it's early in the morning. There's not as many, highly competitive, there's no Croak Z's dominating the viewership numbers. So we got a good crowd today. Also, people like watching high stakes Magic, and this is the biggest online vintage tournament of all time. So